Hey folks, welcome to another episode of True Historian. My name is Sean Browning and I am your host. Today, let's talk about the Oklahoma City bombing, April 19th, 1995. The deadliest act of homegrown terrorism in the U.S. history was done by Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, sympathizers and self-avowed anarchists of the Branch Davidian members militia group. Anti-government and white supremacy were their ideals. They claimed to have done it in revenge of the 92 and 93 standoffs, the Ruby Ridge and the Waco, Texas, respectively. Now, at 0902 or 0902 hours, 9:02 a.m. for civilians, the rented Ryder van, which was rented by Timothy McVeigh under a fake alias of a former soldier he was with, the pulled up and parked at the Mora Federal Building in Oklahoma City, which housed the ATF, FBI, and the DEA, respectively, and other agencies. And also a daycare center. However, the Ryder van was full of explosives, about 7,000 pounds of explosives, ammonium nitrate, acetylene, diesel fuel, and 2 different chargers. A 5-minute time charger and a 2-minute charge, which he would pull as he was pulling up. The truck exploded, destroying more than a third of the building and killing 168, wounding 680. $652 million in damage. 324 other buildings destroyed or damaged in a 16-block radius. And another add another 258 claims of glass shattered in different buildings. Now, cars were also destroyed in the bombing in the parking lot. To this day, the Oklahoma City bombing is the single deadliest act of domestic terrorism to this date in U.S. history. Within 90 minutes of the attack, after the attack, Timothy McVeigh would be pulled over by a highway patrolman who pulled him over because of no license plate, driving without a license plate, but would arrest him for illegal weapons. And the immediate investigation would connect him and Terry Nichols to the explosion at the Oklahoma City bombing, or the Oklahoma City Federal Building, which surveillance cameras had picked them up at different times, 3 days before the attack and on the day of the attack, at the time of the attack. Now, both would be arrested and charged, along with the 2 other conspirators, accomplices, the husband and wife of Mike and Lori Florio. Now, they did this for their militia movement their anti-government militia movement. But Timothy McVeigh was a combat engineer in the Army in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. He was a Gulf War vet. However, he had a hatred for the government and a distrust for federal agencies, and he wanted to kill the federal agents because he viewed them as soldiers. It's crazy. He was sentenced to death in 97, executed in 2001 on June 11th by needle. Terry Nichols, who was also a military veteran, they went to basic together. He would get a life sentence. Now, they coordinated this attack to be on the second anniversary of the Waco standoff, which killed David Korsheff, one of the leaders of the Branch Davidian members. Now, Mike Fourier would get a 12-year sentence for the failure to warn the U.S. government of an attack. His wife would get immunity for testifying against him, and both the husband and wife did testify against Terry Nichols and Timothy McVeigh. Now, Timothy McVeigh visited Waco during and after the 93 standoff, the 51-day standoff, which killed his fellow believers, or what you want to call them. That's survivalism. Now, anarchists are terrorists. Because a lot of times they use violence to send their message across. They always go towards this, firing firecrackers at police, like Antifa did, burning buildings, looting stores, doing whatever because they don't believe in accountability for their own actions. They want to control people. So we need to be not complacent, but we need to be proactive. And if we suspect anyone of planning an evil act, a terrorist act, we must express it to the authorities. And whether the authorities, investigate it thoroughly and stop it or not, it's on them. But we must do our job. Now, terrorism of any kind, whether political or religious, is not acceptable. I don't care the ideals, it's all evil. And no one should condone it, no one should sympathize with it, though people may choose to. In our next video, we're going to go over the USS Cole attack in 2000. And later on, I'm going to do videos on different school shootings and see how they correlate with acts of terrorism, or are they just random acts of violence. But we're going to figure it out. As well as there's other things around the world. I want to hit different events. So please tune in. If you like, or feel free to subscribe, push the like button. But have a good night, everyone. God bless you. God bless America.